Okay, again, I welcome all of you to the Department of Open Learning's Interactive Learning with H5P training. My name is Charnel Robinson. I work in this department as the instructional course designer and media support personnel. Today, fix that. Today, we are actually going to be doing three things. I will be introducing you to H5P, and then we're going to attempt to create an activity. But to start that process, I need to make sure that all of you can actually, all of you actually have what is needed to um, progress during the training with me. And so I'm just trying to fix so that everything fits in the screen. Okay. I don't know why it looks like that, but I'm going to fix that again. Just give me a minute. But what I need for you guys to do is a couple of things. First of all, I want you to make sure that you have your Moodle course open. It could be this year's Moodle course. It could be next year's Moodle, last year's Moodle course or last semester's Moodle course. But the first thing you have to do is you have to open up a Moodle course, okay, and have that open in a web browser. The second thing I want you to be able to do is I want you to open up Microsoft Teams in your web browser. Now, if you don't know how to get there, I will walk you through that in a minute. But we need Microsoft Teams open. And the last bullet point that I have to fix to bring that back in, we're going to be able to locate a few files on Microsoft Teams where you would be able to access some shared resources that you will need to progress through this activity. So just to begin, can you guys hear me okay? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just to begin, I just want to go over a couple of things. One, what is H5P? Now, I am no techno Mr. Dr. Bethel. No, that's not me. I'm Charnel with not a whole lot of technical, knowledge scope, IT background. So for the gist of it, just for functional purpose, we just need to understand what H5P is. And it's an abbreviation for what they call HTML5 package. So that's how we get the H5P in the first instance. And HTML in itself is an abbreviation that refers to hypertext markup language. Now, for us common people, that really doesn't have to mean anything to us other than it's the standard language used to create and structure content on the web. And this is essentially what we're trying to do as course designers inside of Moodle. So H5P is an open source authoring tool. So there are many authoring tools out there. You have Adobe. Adobe have several, right? I used to use Presenter a lot. It's a beautiful tool. They have Adobe Captivate, a beautiful tool. And H5P is just like those tools. Only thing for us, it's free and it's easy to navigate. It will allow you to design and create and share interactive and engaging learning content. It can be used as a plugin within a learning management system, and in our case, it will be Moodle, or it can be used as a standalone. So there are many different types of what is called interactive content. Now, interactive content is these various activities which you will use to design content for your students, but to increase the engagement, they have a lot more going on versus if you were to just do a PowerPoint presentation, then you just have your PowerPoint presentation and you flip through the slides or you insert a video. So now with H5P, we get the opportunity to take presentation of content to a whole nother level. And for this training, we're going to be focusing on two basic content types, just to get you kind of started. Everybody's familiar with PowerPoint, so now we want to kind of like graduate you from PowerPoint to the next level up, but you're going to be using the same skill sets that you would use when it comes to creating a PowerPoint with creating an H5P once you have all of the resources there, okay? And then the other type of content type that we're going to look at in this session is the one that's called question set. Similarly Like if you have an exam, you have a set of questions, a part of a question set. So we're going to use these two. And once we get through course presentations, you're going to see that there are a number of interactives you could actually pull into course presentation to engage students more with your content and to ensure that they're really active in your Moodle course. So again, before I proceed, I just want to go back to this slide. So a couple of things we need to have open before we need to begin. You need to open your Moodle course, whether it's current or previous, and you need to open Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm actually going to go to my Outlook, and I'm going to share with you how I actually get to Microsoft Teams from Outlook, okay? So you should be seeing let's go to Portal. Oh, I have it open already. Okay, so everyone should be able to see my screen now. I'm at Office 365 Portal, and in the top left-hand corner, there is what I call a cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 white dots to the left-hand side. Now, I'm really going to need the engagement. I can't really see the chat too well because I'm presenting, but please, you could open up your mic and say, I see you, I'm on point, I'm with you, so that I can know that we're on the same page, okay? Would really appreciate that. So I'm here at Outlook, and what I'm asking you to do is now we're going to actually open up the Microsoft Teams app for those who are unfamiliar with this process. So the first thing you need to do is get to Microsoft 365. Once you're there, can you all see my screen, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so once you're at Office 365, I have this cube, click on the cube. Once you click on the cube, you will see the Teams, which is a purple app, look like with two bodies. You're going to click on Microsoft Teams. Now, once you click on this app, if you're using Microsoft Teams for the first time, it's going to prompt you and ask you, do you want to use the desktop version or do you want to use the web browser? I suggest using the web browser for right now. You can download the desktop if you wish, but sometimes it takes up a lot of space. But I prefer to use the web browser. Now, once you actually click on that, it may take you to a page that looks something like this, where if you have other teams' account, it will show you all of the accounts that you have access to, and you would simply click on the one that you want. So for us, we are actually using, and I created this team for the purpose of this training session because I want to share some files with you so that we can keep everything moving. Just in case you did not get to look at the prerequisite for the training session. So everybody's at Teams, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay,
am.
great. And then everybody has Moodle course shell open, a Moodle course.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, so the last thing I want to point out here in Teams, where we're going to go, because I'm using this as a resource hub, okay? At the top, if you see my Teams page, I have the word general. Microsoft Teams, for those who are unaware, functions just like Facebook. So my general post team is really my wall, my Facebook wall, where communication happens. So what we're going to be focusing on is files. So if you click on files, where you see the word files, you would notice here, I have a file here called H5P B1 resources. Now, if all of you were to click on that file, which I would ask you to do right now, and you would notice that I have 3 more files. So what I essentially tried to do is the prerequisite for everybody, just in case you didn't get a chance to get to the prerequisite. So these 3 files have a couple of resources in it you can use whenever we get to a particular step. So I'm going to start with the file called backgrounds. If everybody can click on the file called backgrounds, you would notice that I tried to find several different backgrounds for you. If you're in business, culinary arts, general backgrounds, hospitality, modern languages, science, social science, I apologize if I missed somebody. But for right now, we're just walking through the steps, and I want you to do that in a practical way. If you have your own backgrounds already ready, go ahead, Ms. Cartwright.
I was just gonna ask you if we had our stuff done already, if we could use those stuff.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to encourage persons on Friday, but I realized that my email came out Friday at 5:30 and everybody shut off at like 4, 5 o'clock. And so, I anticipated some persons not seeing the email until this morning, which would have been rather late. So I tried to help out. But if you have your own background images, your own question set, your own images that you want to, because the intent here is by the time as we finish, we want you to have a final activity that you could use next week with your students, or at least something close to it. But you can click on any one of these and you will see that there are different background images that you can use. Now, the question, where did I get these from? Canva, any shared Creative Commons document that's available online, you're free to use because you're technically building this content for your students to engage them more. So you want it to be a little bit of eye candy, you want it to have the interactives, you want it to have the factual content so that they have a really good balance and can really enjoy the experience, okay? So I'm going to go back to my H5P B1 resources, and thus I'm going to click on that. At the top, you see an arrow that points to H5P B1 resources. That takes me back to all of my folders. When it comes to assessment and questions, if you click on assessment and questions, when you click on assessment and questions, I have questions by subject area. Again, thank goodness for ChatGPT. So I was able to pull a couple of questions that we're going to need to practice this walkthrough. But if you already have your own questions ready to go, you feel free to use them. So I'm going to click on the business folder, for example. And in the business folder, I have a Microsoft Word document. You can click on that, economics. And when you click on economics, the Word document is going to open up. And I have several questions in here. You just need to be able to access the questions when I said, okay, now it's time to go get a question. So here I have multiple choice, true or false, and fill in the blanks. Now, there are other type questions, but we're going to just focus on these 3 set just to walk through the process, okay? So does everybody know where they're going for resources if they do not have their own set of resources? Yes or no? You can give me a thumbs up. I'll read those. Emojis are good. That's where I know, and I need everybody to get involved. If you are struggling, you can put something in the chat. Dr. Bethel will help me out and guide you if need be. But I do need to know that everybody's on par with me. So I need thumbs up or yes in the chat, but I prefer thumbs up. Okay. All right. So I am going to come out of Teams now, and I'm going to go to my Moodle page. Okay. Let me just Moodle. Is it my Moodle page? There's Moodle. Oh, this is my Moodle here. Okay. Are you all seeing my Moodle screen at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the steps of finding the H5P plugin and then opening it. And then we're going to get to our 2 activities that we're going to engage in. So there are several content types, but we're just focusing on course presentation and question set for the purpose of this training session, okay? So we're in Moodle. We're going to turn editing on. So everybody should turn editing on. Once you turn editing on, we're going to the left-hand side. it says Content Bank. Does everybody see Content Bank? Can you
Yes.
all? Okay, so that's one person of how many persons in the room here?
Found it.
That's two people of, I can't see my chat, 16.
Trying
Yes,
to
I can
find,
see as well.
Okay, great.
trying to find it. I'm on my cell phone because my laptop is going slowly.
Okay, no problem. Now, the question, I don't know how, I mean, how it'll work out with your cell phone, but let me try to see if I could log in. I don't know how that part works. I've never really done it on my cell phone before, but let me know how it goes, okay? I'm going to try to see if I could do some with my cell phone at the same time to try to feel out the experience. But once you find where it says Content Bank, we're going to click on Content Bank, okay? Once we click on Content Bank, quite a bit behind, okay. All right, so I don't know why it's moving a little slow for real. I don't know if it's the internet, but when you click on Content Bank, it's going to take a minute to load. Can everybody see my Content Bank screen?
Yes.
All right, great. So now what we're going content, interactive content activities that you can actually create. I do not, for the interest of time, I have the time to really go through all of them. But by the time as I leave you to work, I'm going to put the H5P URL in the chat where you can go back with a tutorial and explore all of these or as many of them as you want. So they have AR scavenger, they have arithmetic quiz, they have audio recording, branching scenario is a really good one. Charts, collage, column, Cornell notes, that really doesn't do much besides present notes. And here we come to course presentation. So this is what we want. And why I'm starting with this one is because it's familiar. Everybody knows how to use PowerPoint. So course presentation is familiar, except for it's like on steroids, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to click course presentation. I want you guys to click course presentation. It's taking a little long to load, so I guess we have to be patient. All right, so the next thing that comes up here is we have to actually put in some information for this H5P interactive content that we're trying to create. So go ahead and put in a title, whatever it is you want it to be, right? And now, if you look beneath the title, my title is welcome, I'm keeping it simple. If you look beneath the welcome, you have this canvas. That's what I'm calling it, right? And it pretty much is your working space for where you will design everything, pretty much like a PowerPoint slide, okay? So you are somewhat, I'm sure, familiar with some of these icons here. T would be text. So if you want to insert any kind of text, a heading, questions, whatever, you're going to click on the word text. This chain represents a link if you want to add a URL link. Of course, this is image. Then you have shapes. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Okay, then we have video. So these are the different types of things you can actually, the different type of icons that lead you to, go ahead, question? That lead you to builds, because what we're doing is we're building this activity. Then you can have go to slide. I'm thinking this is a hyperlink, and I've used that one before. Audio, and then we have fill in the blanks, questions. You can insert single choice questions. Then you can insert multiple choice question. Go ahead, Ms. Stewart.
I'm sorry, my computer is freezing for some reason. When you get to the H5P interactive content, what do you click on from then?
Okay, so you mean from, excuse me, you mean from Content Bank?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so when you go to Content Bank, you should see something that says add.
Right. I clicked
Okay.
on that, and
So
now
when you click on add, what it's now going to show you is all the different types of interactive content you can create.
yes.
You're going to scroll down to the one that you want.
Oh,
And in
okay.
this instance, we want the course presentation. Because the course presentation, as I would have said before, it's kind of familiar because we're all familiar with PowerPoint.
Okay, I got it.
So now we click on course presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So once we click on course presentation, it's going to open up. Go ahead and put in a title, whatever it is you want to call it. And as I said before, here is our canvas. This is where we're going to build. At the top, you have all of the different icons for building, including the ones for interactions, such as fill in the blanks, single choice set, multiple choice set, true or false set, drag and drop if you want to create that type of interaction. And then you have a summary. Not too sure. Okay, so then you have some other tools here. You can explore later and then paste. So now we're going to build. Normally, when you have a PowerPoint presentation, what's the first thing you have on your first slide? An image. So here now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to bring in an image. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this icon here, image. When we click on image, we get something that looks like this. And then we want to add. Does everybody see the word add with the green plus sign? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So let's click on the word add, and then it will prompt us to go and search for the file, okay? Now, if you don't have the file already, what you would do is you would go to Microsoft Teams, to the backgrounds file, download the file to your desktop so that it would be somewhere on your desktop, and then add in the image. Or if you have,
Just 1 second.
okay,
Dr. Stewart raised her hand. Was that for the question you asked earlier, or what was
Oh,
the question?
I'm sorry, I didn't lower my hand. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
okay. Does anyone need me to walk through the Teams process of downloading the file from Microsoft Teams? Does anyone need me to go through that process of downloading the file, a background file from Microsoft Teams?
I probably do, but not now. I'm kind of a
You're
little bit
going to,
disengaged. Yes, a bit
okay,
later. I'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
okay, not a problem. But I could still go through it real quick. What you would do is you would simply go to the file folder, go to backgrounds. Let's say if you choose culinary arts, any one of these. Now you see these three dots. You can click on the three dots of any image and then simply click download. And it will download to your download folder in your desktop. So any image, there's three little dots in Microsoft Teams next to any image. Once you click on those three dots, you're looking for the word download because that's what you want to do. And then it will download it to your desktop. So now I just downloaded this image to my desktop. So I'm going to just jump back to Moodle page. Can everybody see my Moodle page?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going back to add. I'm going to click on the word add. And here is the file I just downloaded from Microsoft Teams right at the top here in my download folder. So I'm just going to click that and then I'm going to click open. And there it is. So it just gives you a small snippet so that you can see what the file looks like. In case it's the wrong one, you can change it. Decorative
Can I
only.
ask a question?
Go ahead.
Unfortunately, we're having some difficulty here at UB North, so we can't get into this UB site at the moment, but I am following you. But my question is, I see you're taking your file here from Teams, from a Teams
Yes.
location. I'm
Yes.
assuming, or can we equally get to or download or upload, in this case, a file from any location on our devices?
Yes, sir. Any
Okay.
location. So I'm going to delete this. So I delete this, right? And once you click the X in the box, it went missing. It's gone. It's no longer there. So now I'm going to add. Now, I can go to anywhere on my computer.
Okay.
The only thing, no, I don't see anything for me to even go to OneDrive from here. But you can download something from OneDrive. You can go to anywhere on your computer and you can upload the image. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Good. Thank you.
no problem. And then there is a button that says decorative only. Now, if it's decorative only, you would click that. Now, this becomes very important when it comes to accessibility, because there are persons who may need whatever's on the screen to be read. And so if it's decorative only, then there is no need to read it. However, if it's not decorative only, it's advisable that you put in a text that actually explains or describes what is on the screen for persons who may need it, and that's an accessible feature, okay? I normally don't put comments on my first slide, or most of them. I don't have comments unless it's feedback comments to a question. And for the rest, you could just leave that as is, and let's just click save. Oh, you should have clicked done. But when you save it, it will actually show you the first slide, okay? Just like that. So what I want to do now is I want to edit this, because obviously my image on my slide is, it's in the center, it's very small, it's not complete. So now that I've selected save and click done, really, when I click save, I'm going to go back and edit, because I need to fix my image. It's not fixed correctly. So when I go back to edit, now it brings me to my canvas that I can now edit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize my photo. So this is my background image. I'm resizing this. Now, obviously, this is my first slide, so I need to insert a text. So I'm going to click on T. So go ahead, resize your background image, click on T. So when we click on T for text, we're going to say something like, welcome to the biology, something like that. Of course, you are familiar with all of these settings here. You can change the size, you can change the color, you can, let me reduce my screen size. Okay, trying to reduce my screen size. So sorry about this. Okay. Okay. Let me just come out of this real quick. Okay, are you all seeing my Moodle screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So just going through the steps. So while you're waiting on me, resize your background image, put in a text. Add an image if you want to that. Because remember, this is just like your PowerPoint, right? It's just that you got to build it. So I have a new background in here. All right, now I'm going to click on the T to add a text, and I'm going to say welcome. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to click B for bold. I'm going to click center for center. I can change my format for my heading. I can change my size for the word welcome if I want. I can change the color of the word welcome, or I can highlight the word welcome if I want. I'm going to change this to white. No, let's change it to purple. And once you've already put in all of your particular, however you want your wording to be, then you click done. And so there is my text on my page. Welcome. Okay. If I want to say objectives, obviously this will be your topic. And if I want to put my objectives on this page, I could put lesson objectives. 1, 2, 3. So once I've done that and I've clicked done, it's going to insert my text right here on the page. So here is my slide with my welcome and my objectives. So everyone should be okay with putting in an image to dress up your slide.
If it could be 9:30.
Dr. Bethel, could you get that mic for me, please? And then 1, 2, 3 would be your lesson objectives. So my question is, can everybody insert a text? If you can, give me a thumbs up. Okay, Cartwright by far is my best student, I must say. Come on, people, give me some thumbs up, some interaction, something, right?
Sorry, I
can-
just got back in. Cable person decided to come early. They were supposed to come at 3, so no, I'm just back.
No problem. I got you. I'm here for you. Just let me know if you need me to go back, forward, etc. But
I'll be good after the tutorial.
okay. For the rest of you, for right now, everybody can insert a background image. You can insert a text, correct? So let's create a new slide. Now, how do we do that? Notice at the bottom, it tells you this is slide 1 of 1. What we're going to do, to the right of the numbers, you see some additional icons. You have add a new slide, you have clone a slide, you have a slide background, you have move a slide left, move a slide right, and then if you want to delete a slide, you would use that. So I'm going to click on add a new slide. Now for this slide, we're going to attempt to add a question, all right? And we're going to start with something easy. We're going to start with a true or false question. So go ahead and at the top, you see the letter T for text, and you have your chain for link, and you're going to go all the way down till you hover over the icons, and it will tell you their name. And I'm right now at true/false question. Does everybody see true, false question? Thumbs up, yes.
Yes.
Open mic, yes, good.
Yes.
Click on true, false question. So true, false question now. If you have done question types in Moodle, it's kind of similar. So it should not be too difficult to navigate. So the first thing we have to do is put in a title, okay? So we have to put in a title. So the title we're going to put in, it could be, I don't know, let's say all about trees, okay? Now, the question, the true or false question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to my question folder in Microsoft Teams. But if you want to just create a question right there, you can. I'm going to jump to my science folder and I'm going to pull me a biology question because I should have a true or false biology question here where I don't have to do too much thinking. I just copy and paste. And here I go, even though this doesn't have anything to do with trees. So now I have my question. So I'm going to paste my question in there like that. Now, if you want to type your question, feel free to type your question. Mine says DNA is found in the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell. Again, you can do anything you wish to this. You can bold it, you can make it the whole thing italicized, you can center it, you can change the format of the heading. All of these available to you. Now, DNA is found in the nucleus of the eukaryotic cell. Correct answer, true. Now down here, it says behavioral settings. Are you guys with me? Thumbs up, yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so with behavioral settings.
Yes.
I appreciate that, thank you. Behavioral settings, very important. Again, if you are familiar with settings and questions in Moodle, this is similar. So enable retry. Do you want them to retry it? If you do, you leave it tick. If you don't, you untick it. Enable show solution? No, we don't want to enable show solution. Because if you are familiar with spaced practicing, you want to give them the opportunity to go back and try again, but you don't want them to see the solution. Show confirmation dialogue unchecked, not necessarily. I leave that one blank. Show confirmation dialogue, because I don't really need to confirm anything for me, pretty much. Automatically check answer. It says, note that accessibility will suffer if enabling this option, so do not enable the option, because we don't know what students' needs are, and we want to make sure that whatever we design and create is as accessible as possible. Feedback on the correct answer, I'm going to say excellent. Sometimes, depending on the kind of H5P interaction you have, you can actually use Bitmoji icons. Instead of just saying excellent, you can put excellent with your Bitmoji icons. So some of them allow for all of that. Feedback on the wrong answer, you can say try again. Okay. And then I would click done. And then what it does is it enters your question on the page. Now, for me, this looks kind of quote unquote dry. So I would spruce this up by adding a background to it. So remember, you're designing, you're creating an experience. And in order to do that, you have to have the look, the feel, you have to appeal to the senses, because you're creating an experience online that's much more enjoyable. So you would want to add a background to it that may actually, and I can add that very same one still, just to, now, notice here I've added my background, but it's in front of the text. Can anybody tell me what I would need to do in this instance?
You could right click it and say send to back.
Okay, not, because I right click it just now. I don't know, maybe it's this computer. But when I right click, I don't get that functionality, but you get the idea. So it's pretty much the same. You need to send this to the back. In H5P, you see this blue highlighted box at the top here? So these are the settings to do anything to this image. So you have the X cross, that's if you need to move the image, the pencil for editing. Next to the pencil for editing, you have the copying icon. Next to the copying icon, you have the bring to the front icon. And then the next one is the send to the back icon. So if you're fortunate enough to right click and you can do that function, great job. I was not able to do that function in H5P on this device, but I can select what I want to do, send to the back, which is right next to the garbage or the recycle bin. And once I click send to the back, it sends it to the back. And the only thing I need to do thereafter is resize it. I would suggest you resize it before you send it to the back, because then it'll be much easier if you do it like that. Resize it, then send it to the back. Okay, so now my slide looks a little dressed. Yes, it looks a little dressed. All right, so we can add a background. We can send a background to the back. We can add a true or false question. Create a new slide by adding a new slide. So we're going to click right next to the number, add a new slide. So we're going to add another kind of interactive feature to the content slide. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone need me to go over anything?
No, we're
Yes.
here. I'm here.
Okay. All right, good. So the next thing we want to do is, once you pretty much understand how to add one, you can add all. So we're going to try fill in the blank, because the multiple choice is really self-explanatory. You would just go in, put in your multiple choice questions, your option answers, click done, it pulls it in. You resize it as we would have done just now. But the one that could be a little bit tricky is the fill in the blanks. So let's go to fill in the blanks, and let's see how that one works, okay? So now everybody's going to click on fill in the blanks, and we need to find a fill in the blank question. So because we're not thinking, I'm not thinking, I'm going to go to my nursing question, and I'm going to bring in a fill in the blank nursing question from my Teams folder. And I'm going to copy that and go back to my Moodle page. All right, so everyone's still seeing my Moodle page?
Yes.
So whenever you start any activity, obviously you have to give it a title. So I'm just going to say, what is the temperature of your body? Because I think that's the question is related to temperature in some kind of way. So the task description, a guide telling the user how to answer this task. So we're filling in the missing word because that's exactly what we're doing, okay? So with hair, once you click, it says show instructions. Click where it says show instructions. So you don't ever have to remember this from scratch. Like you have the instructions on how to do the fill in the blank. So it says blanks are added with the asterisk in front and behind of the correct word phrase. Alternative answers are separated with a /. And you may add a textual tip using a colon in front of the tip, and it provides you an example. So it says H5P content may be edited using a browser. Now notice they have a browser, they have a /, which means that they could give you browser or they could give you web browser. Then there is a colon, and then there is a tip, something you use every day. And then I have another asteroid, and the period goes behind the asteroid. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to click on the box where I want to put my fill in the blank question. So I copied my question from Teams, and you can copy it from anywhere, Microsoft Word, wherever.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm sorry. My internet went out for a minute. Can you just this step before that I missed?
Okay. The step before that. Title, go back one more.
Yeah, maybe yes.
Okay. I'm gonna delete this. So here we are. We're going to insert a fill in the blank question. So at the top, next to the audio image, there's a fill in the blank question icon.
Okay.
So we're
Yes.
going to click on the fill in the blank.
Okay, that's what I missed. Yeah. Okay.
All right, great.
Go from there. Thank you.
No problem. And so now we do the same thing. We put in a title, okay? And then the description of the task, fill in the missing word. I'm going to hide this because you don't always see that. What you do see is it says show instructions. And if you forget, you click on show instructions and it will tell you how to create this fill in the blank type of activity. It also gives you an example. Remember, your blank line, because we normally put the blank line, would be no blank line, but you would put an asterisk before and after the correct word or word phrase. You can have alternate answers separated by a /, and you can use a colon to provide a tip of some sort if you want to. I went to my Microsoft Teams question folder, pulled a question that's true or false. Sorry, fill in the blanks. I copied it, and now I'm going to paste it right here. Again, you can use all of these settings here to do whatever it is you want, but you're somewhat limited, okay? You can't change the size of other than what's there. That's that. Now that I have a blank line, right? What I want to do is I want to put an asterisk, there, and an asterisk here. I'm going to come back and fill in my answer in a minute, but I just want you to see that the asterisk goes around the correct answer, and then you have the rest of the sentence or the question, okay? Now my answer, okay, for adults, 98.6. I'm going to say 98.6. ChatGPT gave me some other answer, but 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And right. All right. So that's my answer. Now, what you may find sometimes when you come to do the fill in the blank, this entire text bar you see here may close up and it prevents you from putting in text. I've experienced that before. If you experience that, you would have to save and then go back into edit and then open it up again. I noticed it has something to do with saving. So if for whatever reason, as you're working and you come here and this same gray box just goes flat and it does not allow you to put in the words, just save first and then come out, go back in, click edit, and you should be fine.
Just a quick
Now,
note on that, Mrs. Robinson.
go ahead.
Please note that the course content does not save automatically. So I would advise that periodically you go ahead and save your work
Yeah.
just in case BTC or Alive decide that it's time to cut your service at some point and your work is lost. So just like in the old days, how you would always have to go back in and save your Microsoft Word document every now and again, same sort of thing.
Yes, I've done that too. And cried after. Okay. So now everyone has a fill in the a fill in the blank question in. Yes? Thumbs up. We good?
Working on it.
Okay, that's great. That's a great sign. I love that. Okay. So while she's working, everyone else is good, hopefully. So where it says add a text block, if you need to add another fill in the blanks question, you simply click where it says add text block. And once you add a text block, you put in another one. You can have as many as you want, I guess. But I am only going to do one for right now. Go ahead, Dr. Davis.
Yes. I think this is really cool. But I want to know if we wanted to export any of these things afterwards or use them in a different course or maybe the same course next year. In our content bank, will they be saved for us to use across any other Moodle instances that we have? Or do these things have to be built for each class again?
So,
Okay.
so for that,
Go ahead, Dr.
yeah,
Bethel,
let me
because I
answer
don't
that.
really know how to, yeah.
So the short answer for that is yes. That's one of the beauties of using the content bank is it allows you to use courses. It allows you to use content across courses. The additional thing is that if you're exporting a course from one year to another, the whole content bank gets exported as well. I can show you how you can access those files from course to course because sometimes it's not so straightforward, particularly if you build the content in the content bank that is within a course. So a content bank is just like a level of folders. And so the content bank that you see by default in a particular course is just that content bank for that course. That content actually still can be accessed in other courses, but there are a couple more steps you have to go through. What you can do, what I found useful, is just build content bank for you as a faculty member that then can be accessed by all of your courses. And if we have time in my session, I'll try and show you how you can do that so it can be accessible across courses. And then the final word is, failing all of that, each of these H5P modules can be downloaded as separate packages and then re-uploaded to other courses if you don't want to go through the whole thing about making your content bank accessible across courses. So the answer is yes, yes, and yes. Some are more complex than others.
That's good, Dr. Davis.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Follow-up question though. With the slides, for example, is there any way to just upload your PowerPoint slides as an H5P presentation, or do they have any translation for that?
No, there's nothing that exists that like that right now. One of the things that I do if I want the slide to be imported into H5P as such, I'll just export my presentation as images, and then you can import the image into each of the course presentation slides. So that what you can do then is, let's say slides 1 through 3 will be exactly the same as your PowerPoint, but then slide 4, you could insert a question set. So you could have 3 knowledge checks in there, and then go on to slides 4 through 6, another knowledge check, etc. So that's the way that's the workaround that I've built for that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So now we get to the bottom. Now, once you pretty much get the understand of this is part of the settings, then every question type has the same type of settings, okay? So here you want to define custom feedback for any score range. So for me, when I use this for my classes, because I want my students to score a 65 or higher, and it makes sense for me and them, a 0 to 65 is always try again. Because I want them to aim for something greater. A 66 to, I guess, an 89 if you want it to be good job. But you can do whatever it is you want in terms of your descriptions and your feedback, what you want it to say, just so that you know that this exists. Okay. You can also change the weightings. You can distribute them evenly if you like. And then behavioral settings, again, you want to allow them to retry. You don't want them to see the solution. Automatically check answers after input. You would want that. Dr. Bethel, I can't remember. I normally don't check that, but right. But automatically
I
check
bet
answers.
I'm not sure what was the question.
This one here, I'm not too sure. I don't think I regularly check this one.
No, I
Automatically.
typically don't. Basically, what
Yeah.
that will do is allow the system will say right after the student puts in an answer, will say right or wrong. So
Okay.
preferably
Okay, I understand.
not. Yeah,
Versus waiting until they finish the whole thing.
exactly.
Okay. Case sensitive. I normally don't click that, especially if I have fill in the blanks. Require all fields to be answered before the solution can be viewed. The solution will not be viewed, but all required fields have to be answered. Put input fields on separate lines. No, I don't normally check that. I don't normally check that. Show confirmation. I normally don't check that. Accept minor spelling errors. I sometimes, depending on the words, because in science, some things have to be spelled correctly. So it all depends on what I have going on. And then once you finish all of that, you click done or save, either one. Save is the safe side to go, but then you'll be taken out and then you got to come back in. So for right now, I'm just going to click done. And when you click done, it's going to put your fill in the blank on the slide. Okay. So now what we're going to do, so we have 3. I'm not going to have time to do the video, but I'm just going to say it for you. But we do have 3 slides with 3 different interactions on it. So I'm going to go back. So we have a welcome slide. You could dress this up as much as you want. Then I have a true or false slide. Then I have a fill in the blank slide, and the multiple choice slide is just as easy. If you go to add a new slide, I'm not going to do question set. I'm just going to do multiple choice. Question set is question set. Multiple choice, you put in the title, multiple choice question. I'm going to go to chemistry. My chemistry questions. I'm going to pull in a question here. What is the chemical symbol for sodium? I'm going to post this in my question. So there's my question. And now we have to put in our available option choices. Now, with multiple choice, you have to select the correct answer choice. If you do question set, it normally requires you to select the first. The first answer you put in is actually the correct answer. Okay, so I get S, N, A, K, and S, I. So I have S, NA. Now notice I only have two, S and NA. I need another option slot, so I'm going to add an option, K, add another option, SI, and I'm going to select the correct answer, which is NA. And then I put in some feedback here, 65, 89. And let's just try again. Good job. Excellent. Behavioral settings, retry, don't show, question type, automatic, give 1 point for whole task. Now here, this says enable to give a total of 1 point for multiple choice correct answer. So let's say, for example, this says this will not be an option in single answer mode. So that means each multiple choice question will get 1 point. Unless you have 5 multiple choice questions and you want all 5 multiple choice questions to value 1 whole point as it's 1 whole task, then you would click that. Randomize answers, enable to randomize the order of the answers on display, so it changes the order. Require answer before the solution is viewed. The solution won't be viewed. Show confirmation. And then, so you leave all of those boxes as is. The percentage to pass. So for me, you have to make a 65, right? Show score points at the end so the students can see what they get, and then I'm done. So once I click done, my multiple choice question shows up on the screen. All right, so now let's click save and see what this looks like. Whatever it is you would have done, click save. And is there any brave soul out there would like to show me what they've done? Show us what they've done. I'm going to show you what I've done first. So, build up some morale and confidence because, So as you can see on my screen, here is my H5P course presentation. Once you simply click at the bottom where you see the little dots, it will move to the next slide. I'm going to attempt to answer this. DNA is found in the nucleus. I'm going to say false, and then I'm going to say check. Now, when it was false, it gave me a red box. You can add a sound to this. You can add a voice to this, I think, also. Go ahead, Professor Cartwright. Professor Cartwright, Dr. Cartwright, you have a question?
Yes. No, you said who was willing to show theirs.
Okay, great. You and Dr. Davis volunteer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or Dr. Davis' hand is still up.
I think his hand is still up from before.
Okay. All right. So, and then when we go to 3, fill in the missing blank. So there's the normal range for adult. I'm going to say 50. Or let me say 98.6. See what happens when you get it right. So when you get it right, you get green, you get check mark, you get a star. You can hear a sound. If you want a buzzer, it'll buzz or, make a little noise if you want. And then my multiple choice, what is the chemical symbol for sodium? I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click check. And then at the end, okay, it gives you a total score for all of the different interactions you would have had, and it would tell you how many you actually got correct. I do believe that you could penalize students. I can't remember exactly. Maybe I'm thinking about something else, sorry. But Dr. Bethel, can they penalize students for every try, like if they wanted to?
Yes, there is a way, yeah. Yeah, yes, you can. No, I didn't.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. We got knocked out. We're on Wi-Fi.
They sure did. That's why I'm behind.
I'm so sorry. You know how Cable Bahamas go. You could always trust on them. You know, the fiber. It's the fiber nation. Okay, so did everybody see up until the end? So we could allow Mrs. Cartwright,
Yeah.
Professor Cartwright, to share her screen,
Go ahead.
and then she'll present what she has done for us today. Now, again, if you have not been able to finish, it's okay. You can always text me, call me, message me, and we can work. Professor Cartwright, you can share, right?
Did your screen freeze?
Can you hear me?
No, my screen is frozen again. I think we got knocked out again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's back in. We're back in.
Okay. It's fine. Wi-Fi is dipping. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, hi, good afternoon. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, so the Wi-Fi is really showing itself today. So Professor Cartwright, I think you should have shared capabilities. Can you try
Yes.
and go ahead and share your screen for us, please?
Okay.
And show us what you were able to do. Yes, ma'am. And take a YouTube video and bring it in. You can actually, because your students will be watching the video, but when we actually ask the students to watch video, we really don't know if the students watch the video or not. So what you can do is you can, with H5P, you can stop the video at certain, insert questions, true or false question, multiple choice questions, or questions set, and you can actually assess if they were paying attention to the video. And the score at the end of the video goes into your Moodle gradebook. So
Awesome.
that was a very beautiful H5P presentation, Professor Cartwright. And I just want to say congratulations to you and all of you in the group who were able to at least do one or two things. The first thing we wanted to do today was locate H5P in Moodle. If you can locate H5P in Moodle, give me a thumbs up. Or you can post it in the chat. If that's something that you could do now, you could find the H5P icon, right? From Content Bank side of it, actually. What I would do before I leave is I want to show you another, one last thing, or Dr. Bethel may probably elaborate more on it. I want to show you where you would go now to bring in that course presentation that you've just completed, okay? So I'm going to quickly share my screen again. And I'm going to bring in the content presentation that I just created. I'm going to insert this into my Moodle course. So obviously you guys are seeing my screen again?
Yes.
All right, so that's my course. Which course was that now? I think that was maybe spring 2024. Okay, so once you go to your Moodle course, you're going to turn editing on. You're going to scroll down to the week you want to put your course, that course activity in. So let's say if I wanted it to go into week 1, I'm going to come to week 1 and I'm going to click add an activity or resource, all activities. Now, there are 2 H5P icons here, the black one and the blue one. I've learned plenty lessons clicking on the black one. Do not click on the black. Dr. Bethel will elaborate more why, but the one that works very easy and functions as it should is the blue one. I've used the black H5P plugin before, but the students, it doesn't allow it to play on certain devices. So this is why we're encouraged to continue to use the blue one. So when we click on the H5P blue icon, we're adding a new H5P, give it a name. This is a test course presentation. If you have a description, you can put in the description. And now when we come to package file, we need to go and find the file, right? So I'm going to click on this add, and it takes me here where I can pick the file from a specific area. My file is in the content bank. So I'm going to click on content bank. And then once I come to the content bank, I would look for the file. This is my file down the bottom here called welcome. So I'm going to click on welcome. Go ahead, Dr. Davis.
Yes, I wanted to say that I did do an interactive YouTube video with mine.
Okay.
And then I wanted to ask if you could maybe show us how that would turn up in your Moodle gradebook, please.
Okay, I can leave that for Dr. Bethel because I'm
Okay.
cutting into his time. But I'll ask him to do that. Not a problem. Is that okay? Okay. So you would save the course presentation as something, give it a name. If you're the author, then you're the author. The license, you can specify the license, whether it's Creative Commons, if you created it, if you got it from a public domain, etc. And then you want to click select this file. Now, once you've selected the file, it shows up here in this box. And then, of course, you can set the settings, the grade, point. Here, you would want to know the total number of points. So if I created a course presentation and the total number of points is 3, this would be 3 because that's the maximum grade you could get, 3, 10, 20, how many ever points. The grade category, coursework, grade to pass, if you want to use that option. And I'm sure you're familiar with all of the other Moodle options. And you just click save and return to course. And once you click save and return to course, the H5P course activity shows up right here. It says H5P test course presentation. And when you click on it, it pretty much shows you the presentation as if it was a PowerPoint file with the questions already there. And once they do the questions, it goes straight to gradebook. So we were very productive, hopefully. And I thank you for your time. I'm going to give the mic to Dr. Bethel. I will be available in the chat to answer any questions that you may need me to and to support him. But just to make sure that what we were able to cover, 1, locate the H5P icon from the content bank, select course presentation from the content bank, builds a course presentation with background, an image, and at least 3 different types of interactives, and then insert that course presentation into your Moodle course for students to access. I know it may seem a bit rushed. I do apologize for that, but I think you guys have done an excellent job to hang tough. And for those of you who need some more assistance, I am available after 3 o'clock. So I'm going to allow Dr. Bethel to take
Quick question.
question.
I mean, it's both for you and Dr. Beto.
Okay.
Do you, in your experience, do you feel that this feature will be more applicable to certain specific major like science or language, or do you feel that I mean it can be used for any major? Dr. Beto, feel free
Yeah,
to.
it can be used for any major, particularly given the wide variety of content types that are available. There is actually, in fact, even a specific content type that is associated with foreign language learning. We'll take a look at that real quick. I'm just going to jump straight in and try and get started as quickly as possible because the time is quick and we're not going to go past 3 because everyone's time is pretty restricted. So first and foremost, and to address the question that was just asked, first of all, thank you so much for participating. If you want to see all the different types of content that H5P you can create with H5P, go to h5p.org and select examples and downloads, and it'll show you all the different types of content that you can create using H5P. Not only that, they will give you examples so that you can easily download a sample that you could then customize to create according to what you want to do. So getting back to Dr. Jean-Pierre's question, you can create dialogue cards. Those are pretty useful for modern languages. You can also create dictation that can be used for modern languages. And there were a couple of others, I think, specifically that had translations. I can't find it right now, but yeah, there are a whole here, speak the words. This is where you can get students to actually speak the words they see on the screen that can help work with their pronunciation. So there are a whole variety of different question types that you can use when you're using H5P. So I'm going to be looking at 3 types, and I'm gonna go through them fairly quickly so that you can get an idea of how you can create these things for yourself. Once you've done one, I found once you've done one H5P, it's really easy to learn how to do the others. The first one that I want to show you though is a timeline. This one I'm not gonna go over how to create this, but we can also use H5P to create timelines that can be excellent for history courses. The next type of content that we're going to look at is an interactive video. Several of you would have said you have created these, but just for those of you who didn't see this, basically what it is you can upload a YouTube video or an MP4 into your course, have the students watch the video. In this video, we're going to explore how you can monitor your students' progress in. By the way, could you hear the audio when I just played it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then you'll notice that each of these little circles, there's an interaction that pauses the video. And again, you can do this for each piece of content or activity on your Moodle course site. And then gives an interaction that the student has to complete to proceed to through the video. So I'm going to go ahead and select those 2. I have no idea what the correct answer is. Oh, so it will either allow me to proceed or I can retry. And note, remember, Mrs. Robinson was asking whether you can include penalty points for guessing the wrong answer. I have actually inserted penalty points for this particular question, and note that when I answer it, it said +1 for the right answer and -1 for the wrong answer. So I'm still at 0, even though I got 1 correct. I'm not going to bother trying to retrying the question. I'm just going to go on. And the video proceeds. You can easily see when creating these interactive videos, you can create it so that they get frozen at that particular point and can't proceed on. This one is what we call a hotspot, and I find that this to be very useful in science and in geography and history. What this allows you to do is to upload an image to your H5P and then create what we call hotspots, which allow the students to click on a plus, and you can make that any kind of image, it doesn't have to be a plus, and then that will give you some information about that particular part of the image that I just highlighted. So in this case, in the process that I showed on the screen, design was this particular hotspot, and then it gives some information about design. If I go to one of the other hotspots, let me log out of that. Evaluation gives me a little bit of information about evaluation. So that's the hotspot type of content. And then the next type, and this is the one that I think can be really useful. It's called the branching scenario. And one of the really nice things about this is that this will take students onto different pieces of learning content depending on their answers to particular questions throughout the module. So I'm going to expand the screen. And when I start the wizard, it's going to ask me a couple of questions. So the first thing it's going to ask me is, will all of the class meeting times be, by the way, this is a instructional modality tool to help professors decide what modality is best for them. So will all the meeting times be scheduled at specific times and days? No. So it's going to take me on to another question. Decide whether any of my class meetings will be scheduled. So I'm going to say, yes, some of them might be scheduled. And will any of my class meetings be scheduled in a specific location? And I'm going to say no. And so now it's going to tell me the best modality for me is UB Flex, which gives me synchronous and asynchronous remote learning. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. And so now I am going to, then I can proceed. And it tells me, congratulations, that I should now have a better idea of the modality of your course. Please restart the wizard if I need to check the results. So that is the branching scenario. I noticed that there are quite a few things in the chat. Any questions? Please feel free to stop me if you have questions.
No,
No?
I was gonna add. I see that you also have a follow-up session on H5P, right?
I beg your pardon?
I see that you have a follow-up session on H5P, right?
This is the follow-up session now. Yeah.
Oh, this is the follow-up session. Okay.
Yes.
But we will, I mean, if you need assistance and guidance, you can always call us, and I will be more than happy to work with you and guide you through the process.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Okay, good. I think I might need another session.
Oh, sure. Okay, so really quickly, how do you build these things out? So I'm going to quickly go over the first two, the interactive video and hotspot, because they're fairly straightforward. So to create an interactive video, I'm going to go to my content bank again, and I'm going to start with add, and I'm going to scroll down till I see interactive video. And click there. You will note that all the information in the H5P content is the same as would have been demonstrated by Mrs. Robinson a second ago. I'm not going to take you through the tour. You got to put your title in, and this is going to be trial interactive video. Then I'm going to upload my video. So I click on plus. Now, you could upload a file, or you could just get a link from YouTube. I'm going to grab one from YouTube, and I'm going to take this one here, how to create H5P quizzes easily. Get my share link, copy that, go back to my H5P, paste that in, and click insert. Good to go. I could edit some of the information down here. You don't really need to. I find that these are some things that you can play with when you're starting out. The main thing is step one, upload the video. Go to step two, add interactions. Now, this is where we're going to put in those knowledge checks that I just showed you with the last video. I'm going to exit the tour again. And these are all the different knowledge checks that you can use when you're creating your video. So basically what you would do is go through and play the video. Hi, everyone. Dr. Edward Bethel, and welcome to Move for Everyone. In this video, and you would play through it up to the point where, oh, this is a great point to insert my my knowledge check. So I'm not going to really do a real playthrough. I'm just going to pause it right here, and I'm going to add my knowledge check right at this point. So I'm going to make it a single choice set. And when I click that, note that this is what shows up, and you get the opportunity to see when you want the display time to be. I want it right at 126, so I'm going to take out this set, this there. Oh, let me admit Pinder. I'm just going to let it be at 126, and I'm just going to keep it up for for 1 second, because I'm not going to have it as a button. I'm going to pause the video right there, and I'm going to put it as a poster. The difference between a button and a poster, a button just shows a little dot on the screen. The poster just shows the questions so that students can't avoid it. So I'm going to give the title name of the question. What is the best way to create these questions? And the first one is always the correct one. So do as it says in the video. And the wrong answer is going to be don't do as it says in the video. If you want, you could add a third answer. I'm going to go ahead and add a third answer, and that's going to be do nothing. And I only want one question, so I'm going to remove this second question. Yes. And I'm not going to worry about the feedback. I'm just going to click done. And now I should see the question appearing like that. Now, this is not really a very effective way of demonstrating or of displaying my question. So I'm going to move my question along here, and I'm going to expand it so it fills more of the screen. So when the students get to that point, all they see is the question. Good. So I'm just going to leave that one question in. And then at the very end, you will notice also that it's going to always ask you, once you're finished, to insert a summary task. So, by the way, you could add as many different questions as you want, as many different knowledge checks as you want. I'm just going to put that one in so that we can see how it works. And then I'm going to move on to add my summary task. Okay, yes, the optional summary will appear at the end. The first statement is correct. The video is about creating quizzes in H5P. And the second one is going to be the video is about playing Mozart on the flute. I'm not going to add a second statement, sorry, a third statement. I'm just going to leave those two statements there. A note, it will tell you where it will display. It's going to display 3 seconds before the end of the video. I'm all done, so I'm going to go ahead and click save. And my interactive video is complete. You'll notice that you see a little dot there where that interaction is going to appear, and a dot there at the summary dialogue at the end. So when I play the video, and I'm going to speed it up to quite near that one to create You to type questions directly in, like as if I were typing into a word processor. And the only regulation is that a note the video stopped and asks me to complete the question. Do nothing, and it tells me I got it wrong, and then it should allow me to go on with the video. Go on with the video, blah, 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 blah. And then if I speed along all the way down to the end of the video, and the answers, and I would be good to go. So that's all there is to it. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Note that when it came to that summary dialogue point, the summary dialogue interaction appeared. Students can then just click on that. Great day. Oh, let me pause there. Students can then just click on that and they would be asked to complete the summary statement. And that's really all there is to creating an interactive video. Any questions on that? Excellent. So let's jump then straight to this is the hotspot. So I'm going to go back into my content bank again, and I'm going to click add, and I'm going to scroll down and select, I should see interactive hotspot. Find the multiple hot, is it this one here? Image hotspots, here we go. And so again, I'm going to put my title in, trial image hotspots. And for the background image, I'm going to use the exact same image that I showed earlier. I'm going to click add image, and what is my image going to be? It's that Addy image, I think. See if I can find that. Here it is. Good to go. Yep, that looks great. I'm going to put in my alternative text for my accessibility purposes. Image showing the circular nature of the ADDIE instructional design method. Excellent. And predefined icon, or you can upload, as I said, you can upload whatever image you want for your hotspot icon. I'm just going to use the plus that they have there automatically. You again, even within the predefined icons, you could use any of these. You could put an you know what, let's try an exclamation point for a change. And then you can also select a different color. I'm going to select this time a hot orange. No, bright orange. Yeah, let me make it something nice and bright. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go and select my hotspots. Now, what I do for that is wherever I want that hotspot to be, I just click where the crosshairs are. Everyone can see that crosshair? Just click that crosshair and notice the hotspot moved over to what I want for that hotspot. I don't want the text to cover the entire background image because I want them to be able to see where that hotspot is. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that unchecked, put in my header. Design of instruction. I'm going to let the content be text. And note, you could also have the text be video, image, or audio. And in this case, you would just actually record the audio or upload an audio file. I'm just going to let mine be text, though, and it's going to allow me to input my text. In this stage, you design your learning. And then I am going to add a second hotspot. And I'm going to leave it in the middle there because I want it to be for the evaluation. Again, I'm not going to cover the entire background. Evaluate what you have done. And content, I'm going to leave that as text again. And the key to good instructional design is this design is continual evaluation. And good. And so I'm going to go ahead and save that. And we should see now. Oh, okay, excellent. We should now see the image hotspot and note those orange hotspots that I put in. If I click on them, the text appears and note it comes up to the side of where that hotspot is in the image instead of covering the entire screen. And if I click on evaluation, same thing happens. It still allows me to see that the place in the image where that hotspot appears, but it also gives me the information. Good. Everyone following on with the image hotspot.
Yes, could you show, sorry, could you show us how it looks when you expand it to fill the screen, please?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then to exit, you just press escape. Okay. Good. Any other questions about either the interactive video or the image hotspot? So the final one that we wanted to demonstrate for you is let me go back to the beginning, is this branching scenario. Now, a branching scenario is most effectively used where you want students to see different content depending on different responses to a question that you insert into your learning content. The trick to doing this is you must plan this type of scenario out beforehand. If I go in to edit this, let me go back to let me edit it. You will see that, let me close this off. You'll see that in editing mode, basically what it is showing you is the wireframe design of how this activity works. So what are all of these things? Anywhere that you see a blue icon, that indicates that you're going to be inserting a decision point in the particular activity. So in this case, question in the chat. Okay, sure. In this case, my first question was, will all of my class meetings be scheduled at specific times and days? And I tell the students to answer yes, if blah, 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 no, if whatever else. And then put in the answers that I want to have. You could always add a third alternative if you want to send the students along a third path. When I do that, I then see my first answer appearing as A1 and my second answer appearing as A2 with an opportunity to insert a second activity coming out of that particular answer and a third activity coming out of this particular answer. Now, from there, what you can do is put another decision point, which is what I've done here, and then same thing for that particular question. Everyone get the idea of what I'm talking about? Because if you have any questions, ask them now, because I'm going to show you how to create one of these things from scratch.
I just repeat that last part again, please.
From where I had the yes and the no answers and how I put these things in after it.
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So once I've created this first decision point, the first thing that I do is put in the 2 or 3 or however many outcomes from this question, and they will appear on my wireframe diagram as A1, which is answer 1, in this case, yes, or A2, which is, in this case, no. So that's A1 and that's A2. And if I hover over them, I can see yes and no. And then what I can do is add any kind of content to follow on from that particular answer. So whatever I want them to see for the yes answer, I will put down here. For whatever I want them to see for the no answer, I will put down here. So in my case, for the people who answered yes, I wanted another question. In this case, the question was going to be, you need now to decide on location. You said yes, you want to schedule all of your dates and times and places for your class. So you need to decide where those classes are going to be. And the question here is, do you want those classes to be on campus? That's the yes. Or do you want them to be virtual? And that's the no. So when I click no, that means for this question, I'm going to get another A1, which is yes, and A2, which is no. Does that clarify now, Dr. Butler?
Yes, yes. So it's similar to when you sent it out to us saying if we wanted virtual or face to face.
Exactly. So when I send it out to them, you're always seeing it from the user end. This is now seeing that whole thing from the student end or from the beginner end.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. Good. So let's see how we can create one of these from scratch. Again, really, you should sketch out how you want this thing to go beforehand on paper, but I'm just going to make it real simple and put only 1 or 2 decision points in this so you can really see how it works. Again, so I'm going to go into add, and then I'm going to scroll down to branching scenario. And note that it takes you directly to the content wireframe screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is, rather than go ahead and add a question, I'm going to add just some basic text to start us off. And I'm going to take that and drag that to this plus, and it's going to tell me create a new text. This is my start. Welcome to the first branching scenario. Another question in the chat. Okay, excellent. I will send you the link for the presentation. And then, because this is not any kind of question, we're going to want them to go and click proceed to go on to the next slide. So, and I'm going to I'm going to show the content title in the view as well. So I'm just going to click done, and my first slide appears here. Excellent. Note that to help you along wherever you are going to be seeing new possibilities, it'll give you guidance on what to do next. So for my second thing, I actually want a branching question. And by that, I want a question that will send some of my students one way and some of my students the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and drag my branching content right underneath my title slide. Oh, I didn't quite hit the plus sign. So you got to hit the plus sign, boom. And so sorry, which year are you in? And so that was actually my question. So I'm going to delete that. Standing. And I'm going to say fresh, sophomore, junior, senior. And those are all of the things that I want. I'm going to click on done. And so now I'll see my A1, A2, A3, and A4 appearing now. And so now I want to put in all of the things that I want my students to see when they hit each of these answers. So for my freshmen, I'm going to go ahead and add more text. And I'm going to say, welcome, Josh. And for my text, and I'm going to show the title in my content view. I don't want anything. Yeah, special action. No, I don't want any special actions. I'm just going to say done. For my second, I'm going to put another text for my sophomore. I'm going to show the title in the content view. Done. And I'm going to pull this whole thing over. It's getting too far. There we go. Pull this over a little bit. For my next one, and then for my final one, for my and again, showing the content, the title content in the view. And good. So what I've done then is created sufficient content in this in this branching scenario so that this now will actually work as a branching scenario. Really quick, I'm going to save it so you can see what it looks like. And then I got to put my title in. Trial branching. Oh, and I could have gone ahead and previewed, but anyway, I'm going to save it. And so this is what it's going to look like. Start the course, and you can customize all of these things. I'm going to show you how to customize that in a second, but I just want to show you how it actually looks once you've created the different branch points. Start the point. Welcome to the first branching scenario. Proceed. Which year do you fit in? I'm going to say sophomore. You have 1 year under your belt, way to go. And it's going to tell you you finished, restart the course. Okay, so that's the real basics on how to create this thing. I'm going to ask if anyone has any questions at this point, and then to wrap up, I'm just going to show you how you can customize it to make it a little fresher and to make it a little more user-friendly. Go ahead, Dr. Pinder.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Bethel. Sorry I joined a little bit late.
No
I just want to
problem.
know, so my question is very basic. Is this H5P a plugin for Moodle, or this is an external application that can be integrated?
No, it's already it's native to Moodle. It's already existing inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was my only question, because I'm gonna have to definitely go back and watch the video, the
Okay,
recording.
excellent. Dr. Davis, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to know if we can add links to other parts of the course. So say the student is self-identifying as in they need to brush up on something. Can we have like this piece where it says restart the course, if that could link and take them back to some place where they get some other content, or even if this is a decision tree for them to find out which content they need in a course.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me see if I understand you correctly. When I'm creating this, what I might do is create like a quiz question for each of these a quiz question for each of these decision points. And if they answered this way, they get taken to one place. If they answer this way, they get taken to another place, and so on. Is that, am I understanding you correctly?
Yeah, so I just made one quickly as well. And
Yeah.
basically like asking people if they want to do tree planting or go snorkeling or go to a lecture.
Okay.
And then basically I'd want them to then if they choose snorkeling, then they would have to go to something where they sign up for snorkeling and say if they have, I don't know, their dive gear or something like that. Maybe some other content that I would use not just for that class, but maybe for other reasons as well. But just to have some way to link them to maybe an external link or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I would do then is let's say I want to put a link in here. What I would just do is for more information, see, and I'm just going to pull a link from this H5P page. I'm going to copy that link there. Let me get back where I was editing. Is it here? No, it's here. Nope, it's over here. Sorry. H5P.org. I'm going to highlight that. Then I would just select the link here and then put my URL in there. Now, this sends the student to that particular spot, and then they can go and sign up for that thing.
Okay.
Additionally, let's say that you wanted a student to do some remediation learning, and you had something in your content bank that could help them out with that. So what you could then is just grab the link of that content, and this one is not opening up. Oh, I'm in the content bank. That's why. No, uh-oh. It looks like my internet is frozen again. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we
I
can.
can still hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Here, I'm back in the class. Yeah,
Yes,
so
I can hear you.
excellent. I think it must have just slowed down. So let's say that instead of sending them off-site, I want to send them to a piece of learning content. what I can do instead is just go to my content bank and I want them to review this theories of teaching. I'll just grab the link for that. Actually, no, I want them to do this lesson here, technologies for e-learning. I'm just going to grab that link, copy the link address, go back into my branching scenario and go to edit content. And instead of having this link where it says here, I'm going to change this and I'm going to say, you can review this lesson or this content, this information in this lesson. And I'll just create the link, and now this link will take me to that H5P that is already existing in my content bank. So that when the student, if I preview this, when the student goes to that first question, when they answer, I'm a freshman, and let's say instead you had given them some kind of question to say, are you confident that you know the 6 different instructional methods? No, I'm not confident. Then you can review the information in this lesson. This now will link you to that particular H5P content where they could get the information that they might need. So yeah, you can build all of that into the branching scenario. Any other questions?
In the chat, okay, no, I'm giving that. Someone says, how do you see students' answers on the back end?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. That's a great question. So let me go back to my course. So this was my e-learning course. If you want to see what the students did on the back end, and let me see one of the things that they answered questions for. Learning is misunderstood. All I would do then, once I'm in that particular H5P, you'll notice that in the top right, you'll see view all attempts, and then you can see each of the users' attempts and what they did. If you want to see the detail of what they did, just click on score, and it should give you a breakdown of the different answers, the different times that they attempted it. Does that answer the question?
Someone says, yes, it does.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions?
I don't see any in the chat.
So real quick, I'm going to try and show you how you can customize this so that instead of just seeing these generic placeholders, when you see your decision point, you actually will see images. Go ahead, Dr. Davis.
Sorry, does the grading for that assignment just show up there, or does it also show up in the bigger Moodle gradebook?
Yeah, great question. So and I meant to show this earlier actually. If I go to my gradebook, I'll see that when I look at my grade report, all of the H5Ps that I've created will show up in the gradebook as long as I have indicated that I want this to be a graded activity. So you see one appearing there, you see one appearing there, you see them appearing here. So yeah, absolutely they show up in the Moodle gradebook. The question, however, is how do you make sure that the ones that you want graded show up and the ones you want just as practice activities don't show up? When you are creating your H5P for the first time, you go into your normal Moodle settings and under grade, you can either select point or no grade. Now, because this is an existing class and grades have already been awarded, I can't change it from here. But typically you will see point or no grade. If you select point, then this will be included in the grade book. If you select no grade, then it will not be included in the grade book. Additionally, you can also decide whether you want the platform to track the number of attempts. And so that's just a yes, no. If you leave it as no, it's only going to track the data. But if you select yes, you're going to have to determine how you can decide how those questions are tracked. Good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Tommy Archer
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
Dr. Davis both have questions. Hands up.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon. Hi, Dr. E. I had a question in the chat, and thank you so much, Ms. Robinson, for the response. But I recall in the first session that Ms. Robinson did, we had the question on how do we access all of the H5P content from any course? So for
Yes.
example,
Yeah. Okay, good. So that you see, oh Lord, you asked a complicated question. The
Oh,
short,
sorry.
no, man, no, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. That's how you learn. The short answer is, if you are super well planned, what you would do is instead of building the H5P in each of your courses, you can just go to your dashboard like I did over here. And I created, let me go to the dashboard from the start. I put all the content in I put all my content in my general content bank. Now, what this means is that this will be easily accessible from any course. Typically, 9 times out of 10, you're not as organized as that. So what you would do from, let's say I wanted to, and let me not add anything to, let me add it to this course. Typically, what you would do is you would be in a course already and you go to add an activity or a resource. So I'm going to, as we saw before, add an H5P, my content from the content bank. I'm going to go and click my content bank here. And by the way, the content bank will also open if you just click in this same, this one here, but I'm just going to go to the, let me go here instead. And now when it asks me to go to the file picker, I'm going to go to content bank. Now notice that it only shows me the course here, but what I can do is I can also go to faculty resources, and it will then allow me to select from any one of my other courses that I have available in that particular folder. I could also go to System, and it will show me all the different semesters, and I can click on any of these particular semesters, and it will show me the courses that I have in that particular course. Now, because I'm an admin, it gives me every single course existing on the platform. But for you, it should only show you the courses that you already have, that you're already teaching. So let's say, and I'm going to close this off. Let's say that instead of this Introduction to Online Learning and Instruction course, I wanted to add the H5P from one of my Intro to Tech in Education courses. I know that I taught one of those classes in fall, when was it? Fall 2023? Fall 2023. Now it's going to give me every single course under the sun, so I'm going to just search it out and see if it will give it to me. Oh Lord, no, it's not a very selective course. So I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can see it. Actually, it doesn't give it to me. So let me refresh that. I just got to scroll through and see if I could see it pop up. In your case, you're only going to see the ones that you have created. Let me see if it gives me the what's the code for that? 103. Let me see if I search that, if it'll give it to me.
Dr. Bethel, on
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
dashboard at the top, I don't actually even see that listing that says content bank.
Yeah, so if you can, basically what you would do is, so let me close this out and go into another window. From your dashboard, when you open up the hamburger icon and scroll down, you don't see content bank appearing before your courses?
Oh, it just says dashboard, site home, calendar, private files.
And if you, oh, I know why. Sorry. Click customizing this page. Sorry, my bad. Click customize this page and you should see it.
Maybe that's above our pay grade.
Maybe I'll check into that. Anyway, you can do
Okay,
it
thank
from
you.
this way. You just go to system, and you should be able to see your different courses. Once you know the particular semester that you've taught that course in, you'll only see your courses because again, you know what? Let me just go into another. Let me go into I can show you how it works. Let me just go into faculty resources because this only have a couple of courses. I know that I have some in, yeah, I know I have another one in there. No, it says none available. So let me go back in faculty resources, fall 2022. Okay, good. So I now have gone into a different one of my courses and I can see my H5Ps in that different course. And now I can just pull that H5P into this course. So long way around, that's how you can access an H5P that's existing in another course. Let me go through that step by step again. I'm going to delete this. So click on where it says drag and drop files to add them. Your content bank should appear. Go to your term that you had the course that you want to pick from. I'm going to pick it from, where's the modality course? Oh dear. You know what? I'm going to pick from accessibility and I'm going to select that H5P, select this file. And now once I save and display, that new H5P appears pulled from a different course. Okay. Does that answer the question, Mrs. Archer?
Yes, it does. I'm just going to try it and then I'll reach out if I have other questions. Thank you so much.
Perfect,
Okay.
no problem. Any other questions?
Yes, if you were using this program, H5P, out of Moodle,
Excellent
could
question.
could you
Yes,
import it into Moodle?
absolutely. And there is, if you go to, um, and I'm just needing to move this out of my way. If you go to this following site, lumi.education, there's a tool there that will actually allow you to build H5P content outside of Moodle. You can download a desktop version, or you can sign up and create a content in Lumi Cloud. I will warn you though that Lumi Cloud has now moved to a subscription model, so it will only allow you to build a certain amount of content without charging you. So I would suggest downloading the Lumi editor. I think I should have it open somewhere. I can show you what it looks like really quickly. Once you open it, it allows you to create a new H5P from scratch. Open it. Sorry, I want to create a new one. I don't want to save that. Create one from scratch, and then it's the same as we showed before. Then you can just save that file and upload it to Moodle. So let's say that I've already created that H5P outside of Moodle, and I want to save it to my content bank. So let me go back to my content bank. And now, instead of creating new content in here, I want to upload from my desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose a file. I'm going to upload a file from my desktop. And I should have one in here somewhere. UB Open Documents. Let me just search it. I'll upload that one. Upload this file. Save changes, and now that should be good to go. Ready for use anywhere in your course files. Does that answer the question?
Yes, and could you do vice versa? If you created it in Moodle, could you export to, say,
Excellent question. So the short answer is yes. The longer answer is there are a couple of ways that you can do this. So let me close this off. Which one was that? Business models. So in order to download this, it's not as straightforward as it is to upload it, unfortunately. But you can do it. So let's say that I am in my course. Where's my course now? And let me go back to my course introduction. I see that I have an H5P here in my course, and I want to download it. But when I click on it, it's not allowing me to do anything. What I'll need to do is I need to go into the settings. And there are two ways that you can download it. The first one is look at H5P options, and where you see these three, click allow download and save and display. And now you'll see when this H5P file appears, you'll see a little reuse icon appearing at the bottom, so that when you click there, it allows you to download that H5P file.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then the other way that you can do it is that when you go to edit this file, if you just click on it from the sorry, when you just click on it from the dialog window here for the packaged file, it will also give you an option to download that H5P file. And so you can do it from there as well. So those are the two ways that you can download the H5P once you've created it within Moodle. Okay?
Okay, because I went to the h5p.com site and it
Yes.
didn't seem to be free anymore. They give you a
No,
30-day
exactly.
trial.
Everything switches to subscription models after a time. So I would suggest using the Lumi tool, the desktop tool, or just build it right in Moodle, and then you can
Right,
download and display elsewhere.
right. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. So it's already 12 past 3. I think we're going to probably need to wrap up at this point. Please know that we will be providing ongoing webinars looking at specific features of H5P and all of the other topics that we have discussed surrounding e-textbooks, Moodle, etc., etc., etc. Go ahead, Dr. Davis.
Yes, I just wanted to say that you could get a lot of content on h5p.org that you
Yes.
could download for
Yeah.
your different classes and stuff as well. Just have to
Absolutely.
filter through it. And you can
Absolutely.
create free content for other people there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, if you go and search under Edward Bethel, you'll see that I have one or two up there as well. Most of mine are instructional videos that are long outdated at this point, but it's there. Note also, please complete the evaluation form. The link for that has been placed in the chat. Thank you so much for your attention during this and all of our sessions today, this morning and this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for, I think it's going to be Wiley. Tomorrow is Wiley.
Lobster, Dr. Brown.
Oh, yes, tomorrow again. Okay, apologies. Apologies, I'm gonna have to dash out quickly because it looks like my system has gone unstable again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tomorrow is Lobster, and then the last session is going to be Moodle again. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Please fill out the evaluation form in the chat. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks again.